Welcome to Miss Nightmare. Do you dare to delve into the chilling truth behind The Exorcism of Emily Rose? Brace yourself. We're about to embark on a journey into the shadowed corners of reality, where faith intertwines with fact, and the line between the physical and spiritual realms blurs. Our story begins in the heart of Bavaria, West Germany, with a young woman named Anneliese Michel. Anneliese wasn't just your average girl, she was deeply rooted in a religious family. Her faith was as much a part of her as her own heartbeat. It was this very faith that would later become the foundation of her harrowing ordeal. As Anneliese grew older, she began to experience a series of physical and psychological symptoms. Seizures racked her body, hallucinations terrorized her mind. Voices whispered to her, their words filled with malice and foreboding. Medical diagnoses pointed to epilepsy and mental disorders. But Anneliese, steadfast in her faith, believed she was under the assault of demonic forces. This wasn't a conclusion she reached lightly. It was a terrifying realization, born from countless sleepless nights and days filled with fear. Her world was no longer safe, her body no longer her own. She felt invaded by an unseen force, a malignant entity that sought to consume her. Could it be that Anneliese was truly tormented by demonic entities, or was there a more earthly explanation to her suffering? As we delve deeper into this chilling tale, the unsettling truth awaits. So stay with us, if you dare, as we journey deeper into the darkness. Anneliese's suffering deepened, spiraling into a terrifying descent. Her reality became a living nightmare. Imagine being trapped in your own body, controlled by unseen forces, the very essence of your being held captive by an evil you cannot comprehend. This was the grim reality that Anneliese faced each day. As Anneliese's condition worsened, she began to refuse medical treatment. Her faith, her belief in the unseen, overpowered the scientific explanations offered by doctors. She was adamant that her suffering was not the result of a neurological disorder, but rather the work of demonic entities. Her life became a twisted dance with the devil, the rhythm of her heart echoing the chilling laughter of her unseen tormentors. Her parents, devout Catholics, were torn between the tangible evidence of the medical community and the desperate pleas of their daughter. They watched helplessly as Anneliese's health declined, her body becoming a battlefield where science and faith collided. The decision to perform an exorcism was not taken lightly. It was a last resort, a desperate plea to the heavens to save their daughter from the clutches of the infernal. Despite medical diagnoses of epilepsy and mental disorders, the church agreed to perform a series of exorcisms on Anneliese. The ritual, steeped in ancient tradition and shrouded in mystery, was their final hope. It was a decision that would forever alter the course of Anneliese's life and send ripples through the world, igniting a debate that burns brightly to this day. Anneliese's life was consumed by what she believed to be a demonic possession, leading her down a path from which there was no return. Her story is a chilling reminder of the power of belief, the fragility of the human mind, and the eternal struggle between good and evil. As we delve deeper into Anneliese's descent into darkness, we are left to ponder the terrifying question: what if she was right? In the grip of her torment, Anneliese underwent a series of exorcisms, a desperate attempt to free her from the clutches of her believed demonic captors. The young woman from Bavaria, caught in the throes of what she perceived as a demonic possession, found herself entrusting her fate to two priests. These two spiritual soldiers, armed with the rites and rituals of exorcism, stepped into the fray, intending to battle the unseen forces that had claimed Anneliese. The exorcisms were a grueling process, a physical and psychological gauntlet that Anneliese was forced to run, again and again. Each session was a pitched battle, a struggle between the forces of light and darkness. The toll on Anneliese was immense. Her body, already weakened by the strain of her affliction, was pushed to the brink. Her mind, caught in the crossfire of this spiritual warfare, bore the scars of the conflict. Yet through it all, Anneliese endured. She faced each exorcism with a determination that was both inspiring and heartbreaking. Despite the pain, despite the fear, despite the uncertainty, she held fast. She clung to her faith, believing that her suffering was a trial, a test of her spirit and resolve. But as the exorcisms continued, Anneliese's condition worsened. Her body, pushed beyond its limits, began to fail. Her spirit, though unyielding, was increasingly battered and bruised. The battle was taking its toll, and the end, when it came, was swift and tragic. Anneliese's life was tragically cut short, the final exorcism marking the end of her earthly existence. Yet her story lives on, a chilling reminder of the intersection between faith and fact, between the seen and the unseen, between the human and the divine. Annalise's death sent shockwaves through the community. The priest and her family faced charges of negligent homicide. It was a case that would go down in history, not just for its tragic outcome, but for the profound questions it raised about faith, medicine, and the law. The trial was a spectacle, drawing attention from all corners of the world. At the heart of the proceedings was the question, who was responsible for Annalise's death? Was it the demons she believed possessed her? Or was it the very people who were supposed to protect her, her family, and the priests who performed the exorcisms? Despite the severity of the charges, the sentences handed down were surprisingly lenient. The priests were found guilty of manslaughter resulting from negligence and were sentenced to 6 months in jail, which was later suspended, and 3 years of probation. Annalise's parents, also found guilty, were spared any punishment as the court deemed they had suffered enough, a decision met with mixed responses. But the trial's impact extended far beyond the courtroom. It sparked a global conversation about the practice of exorcism, a ritual rooted in ancient faith, now under the microscope of modern scrutiny. This led to the Vatican revising its exorcism rites in 1999 for the first time since the 17th century. The new guidelines emphasized the importance of distinguishing between psychiatric illnesses and genuine cases of demonic possession, a clear response to the tragic events surrounding Annalise's demise. Annalise's haunting story continues to echo, a chilling reminder of the intersection between faith and fact. It serves as a stark warning of the dangers of blind faith and the dire consequences that can result when belief eclipses reason. Annalise's life and death will forever be a testament to the sometimes blurred lines between the spiritual and the corporeal, and the very real repercussions when those lines are crossed. The story of Annalise Michel lives on, a chilling tale that continues to captivate and horrify to this day. A young woman from a deeply religious family in Bavaria, West Germany, Annalise's life was marked by a series of physical and psychological ailments that led her to believe she was possessed by demons. Despite medical diagnoses of epilepsy and mental disorders, she was subjected to a series of exorcisms, which ultimately resulted in her tragic death in 1976. The echoes of Annalise's story reverberate through popular culture, capturing the imagination of audiences around the globe. Her story, fraught with the tension between faith and fact, between the spiritual and the scientific, has been the inspiration for numerous films and documentaries. The most notable of these is the film The Exorcism of Emily Rose, a horror thriller that delves into the harrowing experiences of Annalise. In the film, as in reality, we are confronted with the devastating effects of deep-seated beliefs and the terrifying power they can wield. It leaves us questioning the nature of reality, the limits of our understanding, and the boundaries between the spiritual and the physical world. Annalise's story, and the film it inspired, serve as a haunting reminder of the dangers of unchecked belief and the potential for horror that lies therein. They force us to confront the unsettling truth that sometimes our worst fears can come from within, fueled by our own beliefs and perceptions. Despite the passage of time, the story of Annalise Michel remains as eerie and unsettling as ever, continuing to haunt our collective consciousness. It serves as a chilling testament to the terrifying power of belief and the devastating consequences it can have when left unchecked. The true story behind The Exorcism of Emily Rose remains a chilling testament to the terrifying power of belief. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the darkness. If you dare to delve deeper, subscribe to Miss Nightmare. Until next time, sleep tight.